Hey, hello and welcome. It's an Etch Play video with me, Adam Burt, and him, Ben Joy. We are checking out Guardians of the Galaxy, played here on the Xbox Series X.
I think this thing kind of reminds me of this time when my hamster got loose and I chased her all over the basement.
Do you have to be Star-Lord?
You do have to be Star-Lord, but as you'll see, you have quite a lot of control over the other characters in battle. Battle gets a little bit hectic. You're kind of like constantly telling people to do stuff like, hey Groot, do this, and Gamora, stab this guy. Let's get straight into some fighting now.
Yeah.
So it's like a third-person shooter. It reminds me a little bit of Mass Effect in a way, but there's no like cover mechanics really, at least not so far.
Yeah.
But you have your kind of squad. You can give them basic controls by using the buttons like this, and you just run around shooting things. In third person, there's also like dialogue trees and stuff, like you choose text and conversation. It's not really like a branching storyline. It's more, you know, the storyline's going where it was going to go, but you just get to add some colour to it by choosing which options you think are most interesting to reply with.
Cool.
Hopefully I don't die here. These things are surprisingly tough.
Yeah, they're kicking your ass a bit.
Yeah, like half my team is dead.
Yeah.
Oh.
Come on, Drax. Sort it out.
So what I do have is the ability to do the huddle, and I think you'll like this. So the huddle is a way to resurrect everybody, and you get to do a little pep talk. And if you succeed, you get to play a track from your Walkman, and it makes everyone perform better in combat.
Whoa. I am excited about this.
It feels like they're everywhere, laughing at us.
And yet, we cannot retreat.
No one wants to retreat, big guy, but I gotta say, it's fucking scary out there, Quill.
So based on what they've said, you've got to choose how to respond, and if you choose a correct motivational speech, it'll work. If not, they'll be like, you're a dumbass, and they'll get back to fighting, but they won't be powered up.
Yeah.
Pretty sure I've nailed this one though. Yeah. Now everyone kicks ass.
Nice.
So you kind of build up to that. It's like a special that you have to like, you wait for, and the more combat you do, the more you unlock it. You can't just do it all the time.
Right, sure, makes sense.
Its pitiful existence has ended.
I mean, it's good that this has a great soundtrack, because one of the things that the movies have is incredible soundtracks, so carrying that through into the game is cool as well.
Yeah, definitely some good tracks in here. One of my favourite parts of it was fighting in a spaceship to Take On Me by a-ha. That was quite good. I enjoyed that.
Nice. That sounds cool.
Just leveled up, so maybe we should jump into the menu here, and you can see some of what we're dealing with. So you always have the same team. It's always these people. Sometimes you get split up on missions, and then they come back together later in the mission. And they all have abilities that map to buttons on the controller, so when you select an enemy you can be like, hey Groot, do the thing where you strangle a guy with your tree roots, or hey Drax, do the thing where you punch a guy really hard. This is quite early on here, so I've not got very much stuff unlocked, but you can see what I could have if I leveled up.
Nice.
And we'll jump ahead in a second to get to some slightly later combat where I've got a few more abilities. Not many, but a couple more, just to give you a bit of a flavour.
Yep.
So yeah, it's like an RPG, I guess. Like, it comes hot on the heels of some other Marvel properties that we've seen recently in games, like Spider-Man, which was really well received, and Avengers, which was not very well received. This is better than Avengers, I think. Probably not quite as good as the Spider-Man game, but it is fun. It's interesting, and I think a lot of people are really like digging the writing, which I know is a big part of the film's appeal as well.
Yeah, definitely. Have you noticed like a running theme of like comedy and comedic relief throughout the game? Because obviously that same with the movie, like it's a massive theme of the movie. Does it carry through to the game?
Yeah, it does. So it's not really directly based on the films. Like, the characters are slightly different, and it's not like set in like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's doing its own thing with the same characters, but it's obviously in some ways inspired by the comics and the films. And it does have that comedic tone. If anything, I actually think the comedy is a little bit too much. Like, the characters are kind of like constantly like shouting "blark," which is their word, is their version of the F word, and then doing jokes all the time. And like, oh, just shut up.
So you like to laugh, but not too much.
Like, well, it's a little bit much sometimes when you're like in the middle of like quite a difficult combat section and everyone's just talking. Like, can you guys just let me focus on this? So I'm gonna figure out how to kill this guy.
Like, Drax, stop cracking the one-liners.
Yeah, exactly. But it does carry through some of the kind of the classic characterizations that you'd have from the films that you might know and love. So Rocket is like really antagonistic. Groot just says I am Groot. Drax takes things really literally. Like, all of that is kind of maintained, which is things that fans will be looking for.
That its tail between its legs.
There you go. There's a joke right there for
I
you.
say we go after it.
Top quality humor.
Anyone ever tell you you're smart?
Laughter.
Yeah, exactly. I like Groot. Groot's the best because all he says is "I am Groot," and you can just fill in the blanks for what you think he's saying.
I would love, and I know this isn't the case, like if they like, oh, we're not gonna get the voices of the people from the movie, but they still got Vin Diesel for Groot. That would have been amazing if they did that.
Vin Diesel is a big gamer. He's probably played this. So you can find these tables out and about, and then Rocket will be like, "Hey, I can make you some stuff." So this is where it kind of perks. He said, "I've got a couple here. We can probably make one of these, actually. I've probably got enough stuff." So you collect components out and about in the world, and then you get enough, you can unlock additional abilities. Let's make this one.
One shiny upgrade, nice and crafty.
Not sure if I want any of the others right now. Do I want that? Nah. Lots of things I can't afford.
So it looks good and it looks smooth. Like, how does it feel to play it? Like, are the combat sequences, does it feel nice to play? Are you fighting against it to do what you want? How are you finding it?
It's pretty good. Not the best. I would say it's kind of that middle ground. It's quite like a generic third-person shooting action, I would say. Like, you do have these like puzzle segments, like we're in now, where you've got to figure out which of the Guardians to ask to do things to progress. Like, Gamora can help you climb up walls. Groot can like make bridges with his trees stuff, and Rocket can blow things up sometimes if they're explosive. So there's some kind of like light puzzle elements, but mostly you're kind of going from like corridor to corridor, just like shooting things.
Right.
And the shooting is fine. It's not like, I don't think it's as good as some of the other kind of like top tier third person shooters on the market, but it's not bad.
Right.
It's pretty average. I think the people that really like this game are doing so, or they really like it because they're really connecting with the storyline and the characters. Which I do see. Like, I think that the more you play it, the more you start to think, oh, I'm interested in these characters and what happens to them in this version of the Marvel world, because there are some key differences with the MCU. But it's an interesting little kind of way they're approaching it. I can't remember how to solve this. I can't shoot it.
If in doubt, shoot.
Yeah, that's the usual thing. If you're not sure, okay. Yeah. So Drax can move heavy things around, so he can move this over here for us. And then I imagine Gamora could probably climb it.
This unit is tremendously heavy. I thought you were.
It feels like they have tried to find people who sound like the movie characters. Every now and then I'm getting bits like, oh, that kind of sounds like Dave Bautista, and that kind of sounds like Bradley Cooper. And I'm not sure whether that's more jarring or not. Like, if they'd just gone totally off and like, we're not gonna try and match it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm hearing it because I'm trying to hear it, and that's not the case. But it feels like that is the case.
I know what you mean. I think they're probably trying to do their own thing, but they've obviously been influenced, like the Marvel movie.
I mean, that's why this game was made, right? I think without the popularity of the Marvel movie, this game is
more popular. Yeah. So they wouldn't want to move away from that too much, I don't think. And yeah, like Rocket still sounds kind of like Rocket. I think actually the main character, Star-Lord, is the most different compared to what you know from the cinematic universe. His characterization, he's kind of a bit more of like a good-looking douchebag in this, I guess. Than like Chris Pratt is a bit more of like a.
He's a bit more affable, isn't he?
Yeah, a little bit more of an everyman in a way. Although he did get absolutely ripped for that first movie.
Did you get ripped to play this game?
I did not get ripped to play this game.
Why the Flarkus is so
Maybe for the next one.
Maybe, yeah.
In a jam, boys?
You think?
I'm stuck in jelly. Space jelly.
Smack, reach!
The sword will not work, woman. Find us a rope.
Yeah, it fast.
Where am I supposed to find a rope?
I don't know. I'm sinking in jelly here.
Well, do something.
Like what?
They really didn't jump very well.
I mean, it was more of a fall than a jump.
I mean, Gamora managed it.
It's because she's the deadliest woman in the galaxy. She's so graceful.
Well, just eat their way out.
What flavour do you think that jelly is?
It looks like it's strawberry.
I was going to say raspberry.
I'm not sure raspberry's that deep of a red. I think strawberry is the deep red.
It's probably space flavour, let's face it.
Yeah. Schnauzelberry. Well, that's not them thinking, at least.
Exactly. So this kind of bit of the game is introducing a new mechanic, which is Peter kind of realises that his gun can transform and do like elemental abilities. In this case, ice. So now in combat, he'll have the ability to be like to freeze people.
I'm gonna like Arnie in a Batman movie.
Yeah. Hopefully I'll get a chance to show it off in just a second. Usually the game, I think it does. The game's pretty good about like introducing you to a concept and then being like, and now
so you can
use
immediately use it. Yeah. It feels like it would be annoying to be like, here's a concept, and then 3 hours later, hey, remember that thing we showed you? Now's the time.
Yeah, and you use it in the puzzles as well. So the ice shot, if there's like something moving that you can't get past, you can like freeze it when it's closed, so you can like walk past it and stuff. So all the systems kind of work together.
Guys,
Could this be an enemy that's capable of being frozen? Yes, it is.
Oh, it's evil jellies.
Yeah. Now the jelly tastes like combat. So yeah, you could basically, the D-pad lets you pick different elemental abilities, and this is the only one that I have at this stage of the game. You do get like a fire one as well, and I actually don't know too far, I've not got that far. I think I'm about halfway through the game. This isn't halfway through the game, this is quite early on. But I think I'll probably finish it. There have been a couple of bits where I was really annoyed by it. I think the bits that I like are hanging out on the ship, chatting to the characters, and then doing some of the kind of simpler missions. And then some of the missions, I'm like, oh, this one's just this is boring. Like I wish I was doing something else. But they've been fewer and far between. Like most of the missions have been pretty well balanced. If you don't like the combat at all, you would struggle because there's a lot of combat, there's a lot of fighting.
Yeah.
Getting stabbed by jelly. Surprisingly difficult fight. Drax is just standing there taking it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure how much damage you can do by punching jelly.
I like Groot's abilities because he can just like basically stop things from moving. He can like strangle them to the ground, and then you can just shoot them, which is nice.
That is helpful.
Yeah. It's helpful with the enemies that like to rush you.
Yeah.
Who's your favourite Guardian?
I really like Drax. I think the literal and the straightness of his comedy is it really hits home with me. I really enjoy that. But I also like Star-Lord because he's got very similar taste in music that I have. So.
Yeah. You like to imagine you could be Star-Lord.
Yeah, I mean, don't we all?
I'd rather be Groot.
Of course you would.
Success. And that's it. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on a future Etch Play video. Take care.
Let's figure out how to make it climbable.
Stars are made of hydrogen, not gold. See your planetoid.